I did it my way. Black ball from the game, come and catch the wave. Waiting on my downfall, gotta stay ahead. Don't just cut me off, patience hanging by a thread.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we back with another one. The Johnny Dunn Show, VeVe Pod number 14. You know, last weekend we were off. The weekend before that, we got Comic-Con. This weekend, we got Spider-Man. 5 epic drops. You know, we got first appearances. We don't have all the details just yet, but we got first appearance Spider-Man. This is huge. This is groundbreaking. This is legendary stuff right here. This is history in the making. You know, this is Spider-Man. This is just as big, if not bigger than Batman. You know, we got Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. We got legendary IP brands. An NFT format. In premium digital format. Never has this ever happened before. So before we touch on Spider-Man, I want to touch a little bit on Comic-Con. You know, not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago. I loved Comic-Con weekend. It didn't go exactly as planned, but we had 3 epic drops. First drop, we had Call of the Cthulhu. Love the gold statue right here next to me. We also had the Jade, the Bronze, and then Book of the Dead. You know, Call of the Cthulhu said they're going to put out, you know, another drop later in the year. I have a feeling if you have the digital book, Book of the Dead, maybe with another pairing later in the year with that drop, it could maybe unlock a secret collectible. Who knows? But it's the first Comic-Con exclusive set ever. So I think, you know, this is going to be a big deal. So that's why I love the Call of the Cthulhu set. You know, not only does the gold look amazing, the Jade, you know, that's the original color, so that's important too. And the Bronze is cheap. In 8K, I think all the colors are going to look amazing. So, you know, that's the Call of the Cthulhu. Love the gold. So moving on. Now, I love the Mondo drop. The Mondo drop was next. It was at night. And I love this drop. You know, we had Back to the Future poster. We had the Jaws poster, as you see next to me. So I think this is legendary. And not to mention the other 2 that were dropped, Bill and Ted. You know, we had a dark blue, navy one, and then we also had a red one. And my favorite, I think, is the Jaws. I love Back to the Future, too. It kind of matched the vibes with my showcase. But the Jaws is just unbelievable because I know everybody knows Back to the Future, but Jaws is kind of epic. We already have the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So I feel like Jaws brings in a whole new category. You know, this is something that everybody in, you know, worldwide knows, not just a small group of people. This is a legendary film, and there's so many of them, and it's iconic. So I think having the Jaws poster really says something. And also, there's less than 2,000 editions of all of these posters. So, not to mention it's a Comic-Con exclusive, not the very first one. But I think all of these sets, even the one I didn't grab, which moving on to the next one, we got the choices. Now, one of the things that I loved about the choices is, even though I didn't grab this set like I was just saying, I grabbed the Mondo set, I grabbed the Call of the Cthulhu set. Wasn't able to grab this whole set, but this is one of my favorite sets. It's still a Comic-Con exclusive. But this is one of my favorite ones, even though I wasn't able to grab all 4. Or Lucky, the secret rare. I love the Assassin. The way the red and, you know, I think it's the black eyes too. Just the combo really just looks clean. And it's got the blood on the knife. I think it looks amazing. So rare too. Even though it's not an ultra rare, even though it's not only 888 editions, it's so limited. I think this is a sleeper. You know, I was able to secure this one, the white one. And I love both of them. I'm going to try to get the blue one as well. I think it's Night Watch it's called. But shout out to Jermaine Rogers, new artist that I was never, you know, not a new artist, but to me, he's a new artist. You know, I was never aware of him. So the more I dug into him, big fan of the work, amazing stuff. And really wish I was able to secure that gold Lucky. Not able to, so shout out to all the Lucky holders out there. But, you know, that was the Comic-Con exclusive. So moving on now.
Spider-Man attacked me for some reason. Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
Spider-Man was responsible for the brutal murder of Mysterio.
The entire world seems to be asking the same question. Where is Spider-Man?
You are a criminal, a menace, and the good people of this nation will squash you like the bug you are.
It's Peter Parker.
Allow me to help you. Imagine what we could accomplish together.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
You cannot defeat them alone.
No, but I can lose again, again, and again forever.
Identity of Spider-Man. He's a high school kid in Queens named Peter Parker.
Stop talking. My name is Matthew Murdock. I'm your attorney.
So here we have Spider-Man. I think this is the first appearance. I think this is one of the first appearances that we should have, I should say. I think we're going to get 5 of them. So far, they gave us 3. This is the first one that they gave us. Next, we got the one that looks like he's shooting a web. This is an awesome looking Spider-Man. Who knows? This one could animate. And if it could animate and shoot its web, game over. This is going to be one of my favorite Spider-Mans if so. And then we got the hanging Spider-Man. I wonder if this one animates. We don't really know if this one's going to be, able to animate and hang down from the web. But I think this one looks good as well. Trevor did a great job on this. And VeVe put out a tweet saying whenever a character, Spider-Man comes into a new medium like comics or digital, that is considered the first appearance of the character. Here, we are dropping the same character, just in different poses. So all the rarities in this drop are going to be considered an FA. So that's one thing that they talked about that's going to be a little bit different. Some people were wondering why are all of them are FAs, but it looks like because they all have different poses, it looks like they could all be technically doing different things. So it's Spider-Man shooting a web, Spider-Man hanging from a web, Spider-Man, jumping or something like that. So it looks like they're going to do all first appearances for different poses, maybe different animations. So I'm excited for that. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get this right away, of course, but can you just imagine if we get something like, even in the timeline of just 1 to 2 to maybe 3 years, like something like this just floating around, flying around, shooting webs in the VeVeverse, people would rent out Spider-Man just to move around like this. People play this video game just to move around like this. Now, when I talk about stuff like this and I show stuff like this, I'm not saying this is around the corner and a couple of months away. But I think it's just fun to look at, It's fun to look at. It's fun to realize that people play this game just to move around like this. So if we ever get to the point where we're moving around in the VeVeverse, hoverboards, people are going to rent out Spider-Man just to move around in the webs. So it's something to think about, if you want to grab the second ultra rare or another collectible of a Spider-Man. Because eventually, if you're able to hold on to that, 4 or 5 years down the road, we might be able to move around like this.
What if the stories you remember changed in a way you'd never forget?
T'Challa!
What if the heroes you knew became something larger than life? On August 11th, expect the unexpected.
Well, that's weird.
And ask yourself the question, what if? Streaming August 11th, only on Disney+.
And talk about perfect timing. Marvel is coming out with their first ever animated series on Disney+, August 11th. So in like a week or two, Marvel's about to come out with their first ever animated series. I don't know if this is all just a coincidence or if they're about to partner up, maybe VeVe and Disney or, something like that, Disney+, and you get to watch your favorite Marvel characters in the animated series that we all grew up loving, idolizing for decades, millions of people. Marvel has millions and millions of fans. So the fact that they're coming out with an animated series now, and then you get to own those superheroes licensed on the VeVe app, this is just groundbreaking stuff. I think, VeVe wasn't really, we got to remember, VeVe wasn't really anticipating the blow up just yet. So I think you're going to see maybe this time next year, all these brands start to market VeVe, and that's when the explosion really happens. This is just kind of, planting the seeds. And so we just got to be realizing that this is just a blessed opportunity that we're all in here before the masses join. So shout out to everybody tuning in. The support's been unbelievable. Another crazy weekend we're about to have right now. Shout out to my Superman right here, all my Superman holders out there. We got Spiderman dropping this weekend. It's your boy Johnny Dunn. Johnny Dunn Show, VeVe Pod number 14. Another episode in the books. History in the making right now. We got Spider-Man dropping. Crazy things are happening. Shout out to everybody watching. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out.
Grinding every day and I did it my way. Black ball from the